All right, excellent. So those of you just joining us, just going to go over the panel real quick, brief overview. 3 different SKUs you guys need to know about: 65-inch, 75-inch, and 86-inch. This model right here I have is 75-inch. All of our SKUs are 4K resolution and it supports 1080p too, but it goes up to a 4K resolution. So excellent and great for watching any movies or any type of video or presenting, of course, as an educator. And as soon as you turn the panel on, out of the box, it comes preloaded with the Android operating software. It's Android 5.0 actually, and this is built into all of our panels. So as soon as you, out of the box experience, you turn it on, you plug it in and turn it on, you'll be greeted with this Android home screen. So kind of imagine as this panel as a gigantic Android tablet where it's extremely easy to use. We give you something that's very familiar if you're familiar with Android OS. And as you can see here, on the bottom, there is some general toolbars right here, and we have left and right arrows to pull up the Android OS at all times. First of all, I'll just kind of go over the bottom toolbar. I'll go ahead and show you that we have that built-in browser that you can use to browse whatever websites you wish to go on. And this also can connect up to Google Drive. So from your panel, you can actually log into Google Drive. And here you can upload and download different documents into your Google Drive if you're a district that uses Google Drive within your schools. Next, we have our premium whiteboard software, which I absolutely love, and I'll go over that all in detail. We have our apps, basically our apps application that shows you all the apps you've installed. And since it is Android OS, you can install external apps onto the panel. So if you have some educational apps such as Khan Academy or Duolingo or Angry Birds, you can install that, and I'll show you how to do that in a moment here. And then we have our file manager, which gives you access to all the internal memory and external storage onto the panel. Onboard memory is 16 gigabytes. And then if you plug in any USB drives, you'll see them all here. But we basically unlock the entire internal memory so you can have access to the whole entire directory. And of course, we have our little app switcher here to help you navigate through apps easier. If you're an iPhone user, just think of it as when you double tap that home button, you get that whole app explorer so that I can choose which ones I want to close in the background. And of course, we have our source button that lets you switch all the different sources that you have connected to the panel. First of all, I'm going to go through the physical connection. So here, on the bottom right side of the panel, I have a bunch of buttons here, and this just lets me control the different settings of the panel. We actually give you 3 different options to control the panel, whether you can use these buttons right here or the included remote, which I have right here. So this is the remote. And then you can also, if you lose the remote and you don't want to use those those buttons right there, you can also adjust all the settings of the panel through the touchscreen. So we give you 3 different options to change the settings and set up your panel. Now I'm going to go to the opposite side of the panel. So boom, right here. So this is a set of front connections we have for the panel, just for easier connections for those of you who don't always have access to the back of the panel, because we know that sometimes when you mount them to the wall, it might be a little tricky to get to those back connections. So we give you a set up front here. So here we have some audio jacks, so you can connect like a sound bar or external microphone to the panel. We give you a PC USB pass-through that's connected to an external computer. We have a media USB for the Android operating system, a touch USB, and HDMI set for connecting external devices. So there's 3 different ways to use the panel. There's a built-in Android operating system. That's the first one. Then the second one would be the optional OPS computer, and that is basically installed in the back computer. Think of that as a Nintendo cartridge that just slides in. And third, you can use external laptops, Chromebooks, or any device that you want to use to connect to the panel. Let me show you an example. If you want to connect a Chromebook or laptop or any external device, all you need is these 2 cables. So right here, One is HDMI, so I plug one HDMI, and this is to view the source, basically the image. The second one is this USB Type B cable. It's the same as your printer cable, the little squarish one. You plug this one to here. And what that does, it lets you to use the interactive portion of your laptop or device, and lets you use the touchscreen function of it onto the panel. So just those two cables will allow you to connect any external device, and you can interact with the panel you can interact with the device using the panel. So that's the purpose of these two. And we also, if you have the 75-inch SKU, we also have up to 4 sets of HDMI and USB type touch ports. So you can have many, many different types of sources connected to the panel at the same time. And when you do this, it's really easy to set up. You don't need to worry about running out of HDMI ports or touch ports. So you don't need to be disconnecting and reconnecting devices at all times. So we give you up to 5 complete sets of HDMI and touch ports, as well as options for older displays such as VGA display and even composite connections. So here in this Android operating system, you saw that I've been touching these left and right arrows. So these arrows kind of do the same thing, but we wanted to put it on both sides. So if you're like a teacher or presenter, you can be on either side of presenting and always pull up these Android functions. What this allows you to do is bring up this Android quick bar, and you can bring this up no matter what source you're viewing, whether you're in the Android OS or connected to a different device. And then you can pull up stuff such as change the source of it, or go to like the annotation tool where you just basically do any type of annotations, and then you could take a snapshot and choose to save it, whether on the internal memory, which I can choose right here, or a USB drive external storage. So I just saved it to my internal storage just then. But the really important thing I would like to go over is our awesome premium whiteboard software. So this is where you'll be spending, a lot of presenters will be spending a lot of time, or teachers if you want to create lessons or any type of presentations. And here you agree to here. Now I can create a folder to make it all neat. So I'm gonna do an example presentation or example lesson plan. And say if I'm an educator, I'm gonna create a folder and just name this notebook or folder class 1, or just class 1. So I created this folder. Now in this brand new folder, I'm gonna create a new document. So I'll press that little plus button, and it's gonna be an option to import PDF, note, or default note. I'm gonna select note, and here we give you the option of a bunch of different types of backgrounds, preset backgrounds. So you have your blank paper, your college ruled paper, narrow ruled, and then we have a whole variety of backgrounds, even math, graph paper, math and engineering with sine and cosine, music for the music teachers, even sports for them sports lovers. So coaches or anyone who's trying to draw plays. I know football season's just started, so I hope you guys got your fantasy league set up and got your DraftKings brackets all good and ready to win that $1 billion. But here you go. Even have the calendar view, to-do list. So for example, if I just, choose this background, basketball background, my favorite. I love watching the NBA. I can go ahead and tell this note. I could make this, I'll call this play 1. This is the play I'm gonna make. So on the top of the bar right here, we have all those annotation tools you can select. I have my pen tool, and I'm gonna change my color, and I can, just increase the thickness of this. So let's make some plays. So I'm gonna draw my circle here. I got my other dude over here. So I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just drawing circles. But you can see the type of example I'm doing. And now I can add another page to this document. So, but if I want, I can add a new page with a different background. So I can go ahead and do this. If I do this one, I can do insert page, and I'll change this background, and I'll change it to, let's go back to the regular, just blank paper here. And I'll do insert. So now I'm at here. So I've inserted another document into another page into the same document. And now let's do some writing, a little bit of writing. So this board supports up to, multi-touch, up to 10 points of touch. So I can, it recognizes, up to 10 points of touch at the same time. So if I have multiple students or collaborators writing at the same time, I can, go ahead and do that. And it reads either your finger or the included stylus. So we give you 2 of these styluses that come with the panel. And as you can see, I can write with either the stylus or my fingers right there. And if I want to clear the page, because I made all messy, go ahead and clear page. Oh, in this software, it's great and it's amazing because you can do things such as copy and paste and change certain specific annotations that you've made. I'll give you an example. Let's change this to purple right here. And I'm going to go ahead and just write my first name here. And now let's say I want to edit just that D right there. So I want to leave everything the same, but I want to edit the D. I can go ahead and change my pen tool to my select tool and select only this D right here. And now I can do things such as change the thickness of the stroke, change the color of it. So I'll change it to, let's say, a greenish, and then I can even copy it. But here you see I've changed that completely, and I can even move this around when I select it. And I can resize it, make it larger or smaller. But let's say I add a brand new page. So let's add a new page here. And now I can paste it. If I just, let's say, go back here. So I copied it earlier, and now I can paste it. So here's that D from earlier. Now I'm going to resize it all wonky and make it all big so you guys can see, and make this thickness super thick. Boom. So here you can see you have that option to copy and paste, which is a really neat tool. And so we have that annotation option there as well. And we have, of course, erase, adding different types of shapes like lines, squares, and circles, as well as a typing tool. So if you want to add text through typing, you can do that, and then use the onboard keyboard or connect an external keyboard to type onto the whiteboard software. I want to create a new lesson within this folder since I'm in the same class. This time, I'm going to create a brand new document. I'm going to call this one Shapes, because we're going to do a lesson on shapes. So I know a lot of teachers, presenters already have their own lessons that they've created, whether it's in PowerPoint, Word, even PDFs. So this software is great with PDFs. And in this example, I will be drawing some shapes here. So I got a triangle, I got a diamond, got a square, a rectangle. And let's say I have a lesson, some pre-built lessons already in my USB drive that I'll be bringing to class, and I want to interact and use those previous lessons I created into this whiteboard software. So I just plug it in, and now watch this. I'm going to hold like this. I'm going to do Insert PDF, and I'm going to go through my card over here, my USB drive, and find my lesson on shapes that I already have. So here's my USB drive. Let's go to Shapes lesson. So right now I can choose to insert this PDF before or after my current page. Let's just do after. And so boom, it just inserted the whole PDF file into this document, and I can switch between the different slides of the PDF just by pressing the left and right arrows on the top. And if I press this middle button right here, you see it has a whole overview of all of the pages in the PDF. So it's great, very organized. I can jump and select and go to whichever ones I want to. Now let's go to this page, page 7. It says trace and color the rectangle, and it says color 2 rectangles. So let's go ahead and do this activity. Hopefully I can do this correctly. So I'm gonna go ahead and trace this kind of poorly. Of course, I can also use the line tool, which is a lot easier, better than my unstraight annotations. Then I'm gonna go ahead and make this thicker so I can, color this bad boy in right here. So I'll color this in, I'll color 2 in. Now the great thing about this tool right here is that when I go back to overview, I can see the annotation right away, even in this overview tool where I can see all the different pages, and the annotation shows up there. So it's absolutely great and a good tool. And I can jump around and go to this different slide right here and follow the instructions on tracing the diamond poorly, of course, because my handwriting is terrible. But here I can do the interactive piece. And let's say I want to insert another PDF for some reason, I can definitely do that. And then I'm in the middle of my document here. I can do insert PDF. And I'm going to insert another shapes PDF here. And I'm going to do it after this page. So now it says, I have to color the circle in red. So I'll choose red for the circle. Okay. And so on. But here, I'll go back to this tool. I see that this page has been inserted right after this. And now the great thing about this whole thing, not only is it a PDF editor, I can also, when I'm finished, save and export this whole thing or the specific pages. So if I want to export just this one page, I can just do this page or do the entire note and document that I've created, either as a PDF, a PNG, or JPEG file. So I even have different options and what file types I want to select. So if I do share, I can save it in multiple ways, either on the internal memory and storage of the panel, onto an external USB drive, or I can even have it emailed to me. So if I want, for example, if I want to do it to Google Drive, I would just install it and save it to the internal memory, then log into the browser and upload it through their internal view. So you don't need a separate computer to upload documents from the panel onto your Google Drive. And if I want to do some quick functions with the App Explorer, when I have these buttons uploaded, I can just hold on to this home button, and this lets me see that app switcher. It's a quick way and little tool that we have there to help you easily switch between apps. So you don't have to go home and press the app switcher every time. So it's a little built-in app switcher tool that we have there. So that is an overview of the whiteboard software that I want to go over. Second piece I want to go over and mention is that our panels have seamless AVer document camera integration. So if you're familiar with AVer document cameras, you know that we have a whole product line of them. We have all different types, USB document cameras, cameras for your computer, and even wireless document cameras. And the great thing is that this panel is seamlessly integrated with our wireless document cameras. So we have every panel preloaded with our Sphere 2 software, and this is the premium software that you can install on your desktop computer too, if you're familiar with it. But we can just go ahead and open this up. And so if you're connected to the same network as your document camera, you should automatically see it pop up right away on the left-hand side. So here I have an F70W that I will roll over here and show you guys. I have over here, okay. I'm going to select the F70W as my camera, and so it's connecting. And now I can open up this application, and I have my completely wireless document camera connected to my panel. I can be moving from desk to desk in the classroom environment. So you can imagine that. I'm a teacher in a classroom environment. I'm moving desk to desk, from student to student. I want to show everyone the student's work. So you can see here, it's completely wireless. It's got very good response, actually. It's pretty darn clear, even for a wireless display. And here in Sphere 2, I have all those annotation features too. It does support multi-touch like that. I can add lines, text, shapes, tools. And the great thing about this is that I can even adjust the camera settings wirelessly through this application. So for example, let's say I want to digitally zoom in and out. This butterfly, I can do so. I can take snapshots like so. So it's taking a snapshot and saving it. You can even adjust the picture settings and rotate the image 90 degrees or 180 degrees. So it's an absolute great app and great way to integrate your wireless document cameras in the classroom and just be free of all wires and move around, to anything and do whatever you wish. So that is kind of an overview of our Sphere 2 software and AVer document camera integration. There's one more thing I'd like to show you is installing external applications. So if there's a specific app you wish to install, all you need to do is just have the APK file for it and load it onto a USB drive. So I plug in my APK files into my media USB, go to my file manager, I'll go to my SD card, and here I have a bunch of APK files that I put onto my USB drive. So you see here, I have my Candy Crush, my favorite Fruit Ninja, and of course, my educational apps such as Wikipedia, TED Talk, Chrome browser. So let's say I want to install Chrome. So I just do install, next, install. It's installing. It's actually quite quick and fast too. And it's very easy to do. And it's about to be finished. Boom. Go ahead and open it up. And boom, there I have Chrome already. So it's that easy to install external apps. And not all the apps in the App Store actually work with the panel, but many do, just because most of the apps are designed for your phone or tablet, not really for a gigantic 75-inch screen. But this can definitely do it. And I think that pretty much sums up our live webinar for today. In other webinars, I'll be going over our other software mindshare, as well as connecting external devices such as your PC, connecting Windows 10 device, or any other type of devices that you wish to use with the panel. If you guys have any questions right now, please just let me know in the chat. I'll try to answer any questions that I have. So I'll be checking that briefly. But otherwise, that pretty much sums up the live webinar for today. I'll go ahead and have my contact information right here. If you have any questions or comments, go ahead and email me at that email address. This webinar is actually recorded and put on the website as well, so I'll be sending a follow-up email. If you guys have any questions on pricing, please let me know as well. I'll have a regional RSM contact you, so just let me know what area or district you're in. I think that's it for today. I want to thank all of you so much for joining me this morning and afternoon. I hope you all learned a little bit about our panels, and I hope to see you next time. Take care, everyone. Have a great day.